So today I had to do something very quickly before time ran out and I missed my opportunity. And this is something that I want to make all of the subscribers and everyone who follows this channel aware of, because I think it's something that everyone should be more aware of. And a few people have told me about this, and I didn't really realize how serious it was until today. And so I kind of want to spread awareness about what is coming down the pipeline, so that you can plan and act accordingly. I wasn't going to make a video today, but I thought that this warranted a video. And so here I am spreading the awareness about what I've recently uncovered as it pertains to GameStop. Now, GameStop has a program that they offer. It's called their Pro Membership. And as a Pro member, you get $5 every month towards any purchase. You also get a 5% discount on all games. And then you also get basically rewards points, which is the equivalent of 10% in cash back on everything that you spend when it comes to buying games at GameStop. Well, it's official. They've actually gone ahead and decided that they're going to terminate the rewards points portion of the Pro membership. I don't know what's going to replace rewards points. I don't know what the future plans are going to be for Pro members. Like, I don't know what the Pro member perks are going to be. But from what I understand, GameStop is going to be doing away with all of the rewards points that you can accumulate and use to spend on products in their stores and online. And this is not something that's going to be happening like in 2027. From what I'm hearing, this is something that's going to be happening in less than 2 weeks. So if you have Pro member points, if you have accumulated a good number of points, my suggestion is that you get out there sooner than later and start to burn them, start to use them. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I was alerted to this, and then I'm also going to share with you what I've actually burnt my points on over the last couple days. A lot of what you're seeing here was really spent on that, so we'll go over that. And then I also want to show you at the end a surprising online pickup that wound up coming through. So first, let's talk about what I've burnt a lot of my points on today. In fact, I got a lot of these games today, and so we'll go through and I'll share with you what I've been burning my points on. So first off, we got a complete in-box copy of Demon's Souls here on the PlayStation 3. Been trying to chase down a copy of this game again and get it back in my PS3 collection. I had a Greatest Hits edition that came as a disc only that I ordered during the buy two get one, so I had to return that. But the store did have this complete copy, very clean, so I went ahead and added that back into the collection. We have Kirby Triple Deluxe. A lot of you guys have probably heard of that game already. A pretty cool 2.5D side-scrolling Kirby game. A lot of fun. Definitely one worth having. And one that's actually dropped down in price a lot from the 2020 days. This was like a $60 or $70 game at one point, and it's dropped all the way down to like a $20 game. I think that's an amazing value for what you get out of this Kirby game. So this is one that I would definitely add back to the collection. Then burnt some points on some just, some staple NES games, ones that just, I needed in the NES collection as I'm building that. We've got Final Fantasy, Kirby's Adventure, and then Double Dragon 3. I already have Double Dragon 1 and 2, I think, so I didn't have 3, so got that back. These were some very clean copies of these NES games, so went ahead and added those back into the collection. Got some Xbox 360 games back into the collection as well, so got a copy of Deadpool and Silent Hill Downpour. Both of these are complete in box, really good condition on the manuals and everything like that, so really glad to have these back in the collection. And this was one that I had never really heard of, and I saw it, and like it wasn't until I got it home that I realized what this actually is. But this is BMX XXX, and the XXX I think is kind of what you think it is. This is obviously rated mature. I didn't really again, I wasn't even really thinking when I picked this game up. It was just a game that I hadn't seen before, and I was moving kind of quickly, just because I was kind of doing this in between errands. And this is like a very unique freestyle, like this is along the lines of like freestyle bicycling and like like BMX style, tricks and stuff with a little bit of a mature flair to it. So went ahead and got this. This is complete in box. It's actually in really good condition. And this game actually has a good little chunk of value to it. I didn't realize it. But again, I got it because it's just not one that I've seen. I don't think I've ever seen this out in the wild. I may have seen it maybe once or twice. And whenever I just come across stuff that's really uncommon for me, I usually try to grab it. So grabbed all these games, burnt pretty much all my points today. I don't think I have any points. I may have a few points left, but I really just emptied the bank. And I had a good amount of rewards points in there, and I just emptied the bank today. Also spent some rewards points on this Game Boy Advance SP. Now, this is not the cleanest Game Boy Advance SP, but I did pick it up for a few reasons. One, there's no hinge damage on this. Like, while it does have some scuffing and stuff like that, the buttons are intact. There is no hinge damage. It has all of the relevant stickers down at the bottom. And this is the original shell. This is not a reshell. I'm pretty confident that this is the original shell for this Game Boy Advance. So was happy with that. And then also what I thought was pretty interesting here was the fact that this screen is actually pretty daggone bright. Now, I have a Game Boy Advance already, but look how like bright that screen is. That's a very bright screen, and there's been no tampering with this. So this will probably be like my daily driver when it comes to playing games on a Game Boy Advance SP. I like to play a lot of my Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games on the SP. And I find that the original AGS 101 illumination is almost perfect. Some of those screen replacements, those IPS screens, they can almost be a little bit too bright. And then obviously I don't want the backlit or the front lit version of the Game Boy Advance SP. I think this is like a perfect middle ground. And this has definitely got some use to it. It's got some wear and tear on it. It did come with a charger, which is great. Every time I can get a charger, I always want to snag one of those. But this is, just considering, the condition, how old this console is, I thought this was a really good pickup and another good way to burn some rewards points. And I don't really have a lot of store credit like that. Sorry, not a lot of store credit. I don't often run into these that often. Now, I want to talk about how I came across this information. So during the buy two, get one promo that GameStop was having, I was in a store and one of the employees told me, he was like, hey, you have a considerable amount of points. And I was like, yeah, I'm saving them up. And he was like, well, I don't know what you're saving them for, but you need to use them, and you need to use them now. Like, you need to use them soon, like right now. Like, get rid of them as fast as you can. And I didn't understand what he meant. I was just like, okay, because he didn't want to tell me why. I don't know if he was afraid that he was being recorded. I don't know if his boss was around, but he just didn't tell me. He just said, man, you need to use these points like ASAP. So I said, okay, I'll eventually get to it. Then a week goes by and I'm back in another GameStop, and someone casually mentions like, yeah, I think they're going to discontinue the rewards points. So, but the way they said it in a way that they didn't really seem sure, and they were kind of like chuckling about it. So I wasn't really sure how serious to take it. But that was the second time I heard that. And then today, while I was in the store, someone officially told me that yes, they're going to be discontinuing the rewards points. Now, I don't know if this is something that they've announced anywhere. I don't know if this is something that they posted on their website. I don't know if they've announced this on their social media. But if they don't, and if they haven't, I haven't had a chance to check because I've been running and gunning. But if GameStop has not publicly announced this and brought significant awareness to this fact, that is super shady. It's super shady because that means that there could be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in the form of rewards points that people could be sitting on and that people could be using to get games and products from GameStop. Obviously, it would be in GameStop's best interest not to tell everyone, because once they eliminate the ability to use it, I mean, that's, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars that people can no longer use. And, they don't have to worry about giving away hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of free stuff, basically. They don't want to give away all that product for free. And if GameStop is discontinuing their rewards program, or if they're discontinuing, the $5 monthly coupon, this is a clear indicator that they are really cutting costs and doing everything they can to more than likely make this eBay deal go through. If you don't know, they're in the process of trying to buy eBay. It was a hot topic a couple weeks ago, if not a month ago. The CEO went on a number of news outlets. He went on a number of podcasts, basically, saying the now famous line, half cash, half stock, right? So GameStop is in a position where they're definitely counting every single penny, and discontinuing the rewards program is an extremely disappointing move. As someone who's been a pro member for years now, as someone who's taken advantage of the rewards point system, as someone who's taken advantage of the $5 monthly coupons, as someone who looks forward to the little 5% off that they give on games, and all of the pro member perks that come during like pro week and double pro week and all that type of stuff. All of those little things that GameStop did over the last 5 years, and even older, are what kind of separated them from eBay and mom and pop shops and Goodwill. It's kind of what made them relevant in the eyes of retro game collectors. That and the fact that they were still slightly underpriced as compared to like eBay and other places like that. Well, now when you factor in the idea or the fact that GameStop is now increased prices to match market rates, whether you want to go by price charting or eBay solds, they're now matching those prices when it comes to pretty much all of their retro games. Obviously, the really obscure games that have not sold enough or maybe have not shown up on their radar, maybe those games might still slip under the radar and you can probably pick those up at a still a decent price. But GameStop is pretty much utilizing all their resources to make sure that they're pricing their games according to the market rate, which was tough enough considering the fact that, especially when you order from their online site, you're not sure if you're going to get the game complete in box or not. Now, obviously, if you're someone like me and you're willing to play Russian roulette with your video game pickups, you're going to do that and then just return the ones that are not complete, because why should you pay complete prices for disc-only games? But it is annoying, right? Having to jump through those hoops, but it's something that, can be worth doing when you get a good deal. But now it just seems like GameStop is trying to slowly eliminate all the avenues and ways that collectors and retro game shoppers can really get solid deals on purchasing video games. And if this is true, because again, this is a lot of what I'm saying right now is hearsay. Granted, I have heard it from multiple GameStop employees. I believe it. I believe it because, where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's no way that 4 different employees in 4 different stores are going to tell me the same thing. So clearly this must be something that they're discussing on their calls. This might be something internal. And again, I have not seen any kind of public statement from GameStop regarding the discontinuation of, rewards points and the $5 monthly coupons. But if they don't do that, it will be a very shady look on their part, and removing these perks and removing these programs kind of disincentivizes folks from shopping in their stores. So again, I'm making this video. I was not going to make a video today. I didn't have any plans to, but I felt like it was only right that I make my subscriber base and my audience aware of what I'm learning as I'm out there in the wild. So this is what I burnt my points on. I really just tried to make the most of the points that I had. I was hoping to save my rewards points and kind of use them during the next buy two, get one, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get the chance. All that being said, I did get some online pickups that came in, so I'll share those with you here. So we got Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. This one came in the mail. I was really hyped because it did come with the artwork, and it came with all the inserts but no manual. So that's a little bit of a bummer. I'm hoping the game works because there is some scratches on the disc. But I think this was like 35 bucks for this one. So not horrible. It's not the best. It's not horrible. Obviously, this could use a case swap and some cleaning, but it did just come in the mail. So this is kind of like this will pass. I might keep this because I'm pretty sure I could find a manual somewhere down the line on this game because that one's not super rare or anything. And then last but not least, this gem that came in, Mega Man 64 on the N64. I had this in my old collection before I sold my old collection. And I had ordered a copy of Mega Man Legends that I'm pretty sure is disc only when it gets here. The good thing about cartridge-based games is that you don't really need to have them complete in box. I typically, if it's a cartridge, I collect cartridges loose. So it doesn't really matter to me that this doesn't come with a case and a manual. The only thing is that the Mega Man 64 version of, like, I guess what we would consider Mega Man Legends on the PlayStation 1, it does have some deficiencies. Probably the biggest deficiency being in the sound and the voice acting quality. Obviously, sound and voice acting is going to always sound way better on disc than it does on cartridge. Just the way the files are uploaded and computed through the system, it's always going to have a different impact. It's always going to sound different. Anytime you can run something on a CD, it's just going to sound better. And so that's probably the biggest deficiency here. But the good thing is that with Mega Man 64, you do not have those long load times. So that is a plus there. But all in all, I would say some pretty solid pickups and items that came in through the mailbag. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Have you heard about the rewards program ending? What news have you gotten? Have you, seen anything on your end? Let us know in the comments down below so that we all can be prepared. And I'll catch you in the next one. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.